So I'm on the allotment right now and I'm just mulling over what I'm going to be sowing in June, and it's going to be the quietest month. I really want a quiet month after May. May is always really busy, so I take a bit of a break in June, just a handful of different things, and then we get at it again, back in sowing a lot of stuff in July and August and September. But for now, quiet month in June. Let's take a look. Right then, so it's a really quick update for June because I'm not sowing very much. I'm doing a couple of batches of carrots, and these are the last really of the main crop summer carrots for me, and then I'll switch over to the ones that I've already got planted in the ground, which are Eskimo and Touchon. And then this is a sorry tale again. My beetroot that I sowed last month aren't looking that healthy really. They're too leggy for my liking, and because it's such a critical crop, the storage crop, I'm going to sow some more, and I'm going to do these two varieties here, Bolt Hardy and Burpees Golden. So yeah, hopefully they'll be better. I mean, sometimes leggy beetroot turn out to be good plants, but as I said, I can't really afford for those to fail. Then we don't do purple sprouting broccoli in the summer, but I'm doing these three varieties here, Claret, Early Purple and Sante, and they'll give me a nice succession from very early spring, late winter through to mid-spring. And we like that because that's the hungry gap. There's not a vast range of food at that time of year, so it's nice to have some purple sprouting broccoli, although it takes up quite a lot of space. And I'll do two successions of those actually, because especially the claret, because it all comes together and I'm trying to get at least 2 weeks separation. So then we got our sowing of kale. Now we've got plenty of kale at the moment, but what I find is that if you sow some a bit late now for planting out sort of maybe the beginning of August, something like that, so about when the plants are about 6 weeks old, then they do last much better into spring than the ones that I sowed back in March time. They tend to just go to seed that little bit earlier, so I'm doing some dwarf green curly kale. I quite like the dwarf green one for winter as well because it's nice and compact, and that's pretty good over winter. And then I do like these red kales as well, and so that's particularly this sympathetic red, but I might do some other red varieties as well that are not on this list right now. And red ursa, that's a really nice sort of not crinkly, but ruffled kind of feel to it. That's really nice. Black Magic, which is my favourite of the Tuscan kales, and Pentland Brig. That's another one that's really slow to go to seed in spring, so I really like that. What else have we got? Spring onions. Now, I don't really rate the quality of spring onions in sort of late July and August, and so I tend not to sow that many of them, and I kind of just switch over to main crop onions. This year I'm doing a variety called Semaine, which is a really sweet main crop onion. Looks a bit, shape-wise, it looks a bit like a banana shallot. So that would be an alternative to spring onions for us in the August-September time frame. But we are going to just try this ramrod. I'm always trying new spring onion varieties to find the best for each season. Right now, the ones I'm eating are North Holland Blood Red, and they're absolutely amazing for this sort of late spring, early summer crop. And then we've got just a range of lettuces that are great in summer: Navara, Bijou, Luini, Canasta and Little Gem. Nothing special really about those. I've talked about them all many times. And then this is the second sowing of the claret, as I said, just to try and get a kind of a nice flush harvest in mid-spring, and then a few weeks later another harvest in a bit later spring, just to give me a bit more continuity. I hate it when all the purple sprouting broccoli all comes at once and we're kind of overwhelmed with it. So then it comes to my favourite of the cucumbers, which is Lytham. It's not quite as prolific as the party time, which I've been growing in spring. We've been eating those for a while now, and they're absolutely fantastic. They're a nice, nice enough cucumbers. Nothing wrong with them. Just Lytham, I think, is just that little bit crunchier. It's a little bit drier flesh as well, a little bit less seedy, and I generally just sow cucumbers every 6 weeks until about September time. I do find that the plants kind of, they just get a bit exhausted. I just like to start fresh ones. And same with spinach, really. I find that even spinaches like this, an Asian spinach, this one is Mikado, that after about 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks of continuous harvest, the plants get a bit tired. So this is just a new successional sowing of that, and that is it. So that is an incredibly small number of seedlings for me, and yeah, I'm actually looking forward to a really relaxed June. I've had a very busy April and May, and now work on the allotment is down to about an hour a day, something like that. And most of that, to be honest, is watering, and then about a 3-hour slot on the allotment for harvesting on Sundays. So there we go. That's what I'm sowing in June. So regular viewers can switch off now, but if you're new to the channel, it might be worth taking a look at my ebook. It's free, it's linked in the description here. And if you're interested in sowing seeds, which is really what this video is all about, then check out the basics section. It goes through planning, sowing, growing with lights, hardening on off, and all that sort of thing. In the sowing section, it's pretty comprehensive. There are loads more videos, and it goes through everything from all the different products that I use to all the tips and tricks and techniques and all of that sort of thing related to sowing seeds. So I do recommend taking a look at that. And then if you kind of want to know anything more about the sorts of things that I'm doing, then take a look in the reference information section in the book. And there's a section for each month of the year. Let's look at May. And in here, we've got everything that I harvested in May, which might be quite interesting, rather than things that I'm sowing and planting. Then here's everything that I sowed in May. Here's everything that we planted in May. Here's the videos that I made in May. So there you go. So, and there'll be similar sort of information in here for June fairly soon. But obviously, if you want to look at any previous month, then you can do that as well. So there's lots of information in here. And yeah, books full of stuff. Right now we're starting to think about planning for winter, and if you're doing that as well, then you might want to look at my year-round growing guides, for example, and there I cover quite a range of different types of plants and how we get a year-round supply of those. So I'll leave that there. Just browse around it to your heart's content. So I hope you like this quick video. My name's Steve. This is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.